What is going on, my beautiful people? It is your boy, brand new video here today. And you see the title, and yes, 2020 has been a wild year for many reasons. And I started the year in a secure job, and I ended up in a new job. Within that time, I started to leave my old job, had a transition, had a part where I couldn't get a job. I've worked a temp job, and now I'm in a new job. So on top of all the kind of mental stress of having everything closed, and kind of just being at home for large periods of the year, I've also been out of work and I chose to leave work as well. So if you want to know kind of the reasons why and what happened in my journey, then stick around and roll the new intro.
Living my life like it's golden, golden, golden. Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden, golden, golden. Living my life like it's golden, golden, golden. Living my life like it's golden. I know that I'm chosen. I know that they know I'm the one.
Living my life like it's golden, golden, golden. Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. You know that I'm chosen. You know I am the one. Hope you guys have enjoyed the new intro, by the way. Shout out to Nafi and Nate Joel. So I just discovered on Twitter, and I really like that song, by the way. I saw it as a snippet. The album came out and I bought it. I really like it. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the new intro. Obviously, it's not on the level of all these kind of YouTube extraordinaires, and I'm still on a very basic level of editing. But, you know, hopefully I'll get better. As I say, I'm going to put a lot of time to kind of put into this YouTube at the moment, and hopefully it will all improve. But yeah, this video is mad, and this video I've been thinking about making for a long time, but I really want to make sure that I was in the right position to make it now, and I believe that I am. Yeah, 2020 for me has been absolutely wild. Before I get any further into it as well, I just want to give a quick shout out to my mate's company, Power Labs. It's actually very decent. I'm not gonna lie, I really do rate it. And I wouldn't just say that for the sake of saying it. Like, I do genuinely really like the drink. I've gone for a banana ripple. As I'll put that link in the description as well. They're not sponsoring the video or anything. I say I pay for my own sample and all that. But like, I do honestly really like this drink. Highly recommend it if you are someone kind of goes to the gym and stuff like that. Or use it as a meal replacement. I do that sometimes as well. But yeah, I used to say I've been back in the gym, and this is kind of empowering me. So I just wanted to give that quick shout out as well. So big up to Power Lab. But yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this video. So as many of you guys know before, I was working kind of in the finance sector, or kind of more kind of, if you want to get, I'm not gonna give you a complete detail, but also I was working in banking. But that was the role I've been doing. I was doing for the past kind of 18 months before I chose to leave. So yes, that's a pretty significant amount of time to put towards something. And I was based in Birmingham as well. So before kind of COVID, I was commuting in as well. So yeah, and I had some really I had some good times, and I loved kind of, although you can't look at it as like an expense of travel, and it was hurting my pocket at the end of the day. Like, the idea of being in Birmingham, being in that kind of office environment, meeting these new people, having these new experiences, just bringing this time of year, stuff like Christmas markets and stuff like that, and just kind of pissed me up. And all that, it was good. Like, I did enjoy it. But I think for me, ultimately ended up with me leaving my job is, I was already not really enjoying it. It was some kind of different before COVID come around, and then working from home, I kind of just accepted it for a bit. I was like, well, it's trying to be at home and not have to kind of commute and save money on commute and stuff like that. But then kind of like, you have all the kind of pressures of work, and it's been stuck into your house, and you can't leave your house. Like, it just got like dead to me. Like, I couldn't take work serious. I can't take like acting as if I was in the office whilst I'm in like my own home. Like, to me, it just came like a bit of a joke. I honestly couldn't deal with it. And I think if it was something where I really liked the job that I was doing, and I saw kind of a career in it, and it's something where I wanted to progress with the company I was in, and that was something where if I was really set on that, I think I would have done it, and maybe I'd be in a better position now. But it wasn't for me. And with myself, with kind of my goal, like I've said it before on each video, I think I said it in my car when I was like 18, that I want to be a millionaire by age 25. I still believe in that. Like, many of people think that's like stupid, like, get it up, why are you even still thinking about that? But I truly still believe in that. But I believe that if I'm even going to come close to hitting that, then I need to start making major kind of improvements now. It's not going to be, I can't just stick around a job for 2-3 years and just have my mind solely focused on that, and then then try to go for it later. Maybe if you're better off financially. Like for me, like if I'm gonna go serious on something, I'm gonna go serious on it now, because in these jobs you're never really gonna get, like, yeah, you may get like a slight increase, but you're never gonna be that type of money where you're significantly changing your life. That was kind of one reason. And like I say, I want to go into something a bit different, a different industry. I was a bit bored. Obviously, in my job, I was kind of on the phones and obviously talking to customers. It could be quite negative at times, conversation, and quite mentally draining. So I did want to change, kind of for that reason. And I think one of the days where I actually decided that I actually wanted to leave, was actually when I went out with my mates. And when I talked to my family about it, and I was saying I really don't like this job, I really think like it may be time for me to leave things something else. And they were like, "Oh no, stick it out from the end of the pandemic." Like they'll say like this, if it was like give gigs into the season. Like to me, you lot aren't doing this job. I'm doing this job, and I don't enjoy it. And for me, like, especially when you work in finance, you realize that money isn't everything. So for me, kind of my mental health is more important than my financial health. Like for me, money comes and goes, but what goes on up here, I think this is going to be crucial basically to, if I'm going to come to the level where I think I'm going to be a millionaire at that peak, then like for me, my mental is everything. Like I'm not losing my mental over a job. Like it's just not happening. So I made that decision, and I thought that, I'm not going to lie, I made that decision. I thought with kind of the qualifications I have, obviously me having like my A levels, and I've got customer experience. I've got obviously like experience both kind of on the phones and in real life. I thought hop into the job market, might be able to get a job maybe 2-3 weeks, a few job interviews and whatever. Nothing I'll be patterned, but didn't quite go like that. I'm not gonna lie. This COVID job market, it really did humble me, because although I did get a few kind of interviews and stuff and some roles I wasn't interested in, like just the sheer amount of applicants meant that like you really need to be on that A-star game. And the thing about me, especially with being like a YouTuber and stuff, is that I do get quite, not saying overconfident, I still kind of think, oh yeah, I need to learn stuff about the company, but I don't do my research. Like my research, like kind of before, was like maybe looking 5-10 minutes before the interview into the company, and then trying to remember as much facts as possible. But like that doesn't really do much, let's be honest. So more with kind of me going into it and asking me questions, and I'd kind of be more kind of freestyling, still kind of with the experiences in mind that I want to give off in the interview, but I'm not taking it that seriously, because I know in the back of my mind that I've got all this kind of in the back of my head. So I think I was kind of just missing that cutting edge, and that's the reason why I'm probably getting kind of was having the success that I was kind of thinking I would do in the market. But yeah, so I got to the end of my kind of, had a 30-day notice period, and I got to the end of that, and I still didn't have a job. Luckily for me, what kind of did make it a bit easier to kind of cope until I got into my next role was the fact that obviously I did have some savings left in the company, so that was due to be paid out, and then I also had my last paycheck, obviously, from the days I worked into the next month. So like that did last, and I was kind of completely out of work for up to 6 weeks. I think that could have been quicker, but I was so kind of thinking, and I think it was nearly kind of entitled, that I was like, I'm entitled to go into a job that's going to be similar pay, or it's going to be a similar way of progression, or something that I really want to do. Whereas like, although the job market was opening back up when I left, because I left in July, no, I landed the notice in July, just like my 21st birthday. So I was like, 21st birthday, it's a big time in your life, and I think it's time, if I'm ever going to make a decision like this, let's just do it now. Like, let's not wait 6 months down the line where the situation could potentially worse. I was like, 21st, got 4 years, I'm 25, let's just go head on, straight on, and think about this. And I did. So pretty much like a week after my birthday, I handed in my notice, and then got to August and still without a job. But yeah, I was like, anyway, screw it, let's see what happens. So yeah, about 6 weeks I went without any sort of work. But you know me, I'm not one of those people, like, the reason, I know people are different, but the reason why I leave work maybe isn't the same as why other people leave work. So some people will leave work because they just can't bother to wake up and do stuff, and then they're like, oh yeah, let's just go sit on Netflix, or let's just go, or let's just try and do as little as possible. But me, like, I knew that time out of work, so I knew I wouldn't be able to work forever. Like, I do actually like working. So that for me, like, it was never going to be a case of me being out of work for forever. So What I did in that kind of meanwhile is I read a lot of books. Obviously, I was doing job applications like every day, trying to get back into it. I think I applied for like 30 plus places in the end, like mental. Like I say, I'm reading books. I'll share a couple of books I read during that time. I read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Really good motivational book. This book is basically the book that fired me back into the gym, and honestly, I can't thank it enough. Like, really good book. If you guys, I mean, David Goggins is kind of mainstream at this point, I'm not gonna lie, but if you like haven't read this book, then please have a look at it. It's quality. Also read a book called How to Rap. I mean, I don't know if that's actually going to improve my rap skills or not, but I read the whole book. Kind of listened to kind of stories, different artists. Very good. If you are kind of a hip hop musician, then maybe give this one a look. But it was very decent. And then I'm still trying to keep up the reading now. I'm on to The Magic Ladder of Success. It's kind of a business book about kind of having a great mind, kind of like that mastermind, kind of pulling everything together, kind of what's the greatest things to sell on that. I'm really enjoying that book. I'm about 70 pages in at the moment. So I really, reading was a big thing for me. It was eating right as well. And the mad thing is I've never lost as much weight as when I didn't have a job, which sounds strange, but it's because there is no, and this kind of sounds bad, obviously, especially with kind of the stuff that's happened with obviously like the free school meals and seeing that kind of what Mark Rashford's done and all that. But, and I don't obviously don't disconnect this from kind of what I'm going to say, because obviously kids, they don't deserve that. Like, kids should eat anyway. But for me, as a grown man, there was no better diet than being broke. Like, because, and I'll explain that, it's because at times where I had money, but that money was going directly toward my bills and my outgoings, like, I didn't have really anything disposable. I wasn't doing food shops. I mean, my mum I was very thankful for my mum, because she would come in like every 2 or 3 weeks and she'd pay for a few things, maybe £20, £25 shop. But that kind of kept me ticking over. But for the most part, I was just trying to kill everything that was in like my fridge or my cupboard that had been stocked up. Maybe there for like 6 months, no one was ever going to touch it, making the most random ass meals, like some like eggs and like mushy peas, or like some pasta, put on some peri seasoning on some pasta, like, mate, just random shit. Like, I would eat anything. Like, I literally like cleaned out those cupboards over a period, like a month's period, where I just didn't have money to eat. Like, and I lost about, and combining that with me going back into the gym and stuff, I lost about 10 kilos. So like, pretty effective. Like, this, like, I wouldn't say I wasn't eating, but the meals, like, I was having to be very particular, especially at a point where I didn't particularly have the money to eat. Actually, with that, you might be like, oh, why didn't you just get help from your family? Well, that's another thing. So I decided I was going to leave my job in July. My notice period went through, finished off about mid-August, and then I didn't tell my family. Well, I didn't mean to tell my family. Like, I didn't even say anything to my family until the end of September, when I was 1 week into my new job. And the mad thing is I didn't even tell my family. So the new job, which I'll explain in a second, but basically I went into kind of warehousing and I got a job in there. Yeah, so they called. You had to put an emergency contact basically when you start working. And I told my mum, because obviously it makes sense. Obviously, in case I get injured or something, they call her, let her know what's happened. They decided to call out to my mum to tell her that they were asking about my bank account, I think, like to make sure I got paid correctly. And my mum was like, oh, these people just called you and they said that you work in this warehouse and they want to get in contact with you. And I was like, nah, they got the wrong person, because I want my mum to sort of believe that I was still working from home. Like, I didn't want my mum to know, like, they basically told her, and my mum was like, oh, no, I'm going to say, like, this is, like, fraud and whatever, someone's using your name, and then I'd be like, oh, no, it actually is me. So that's the only reason my mum actually knew that I was working in this job, but I was actually hiding it, and I was telling I was working from home for about 5-6 weeks, and even in my own household, like, no one knew. Like, I was saying I was going on business trips to Birmingham, like, I'd stay in my room from like 8 till 3:30 or 4:30, like in the afternoon. Like, I did everything to act like I was still working, because like, for me, when I'm in that period of transition, I want 100% kind of, because obviously it's my responsibility. I put myself in this situation. I'm going to make myself out of it. Like, I think that's one of the big things about kind of growing up, it's like, oh yeah, it's all great, like saying like, oh, you have your parents come save you in whatever situation or family. But for me, like one of the big things I want to kind of get across is like, yeah, this is my situation, this is my life. I've got this. Like I'm gonna do this, and ultimately, I did actually transition it myself fully, which I'm quite proud of. But yeah, I had those struggles. I had those hard days. I had those days where I thought it's all just gonna go tits up, but we carried on and we got there, which is really good. But yeah, like I say, um, transitioned into that job. Like I said, there was times I was kind of struggling to eat and stuff. Decided to apply for this warehousing job and got an induction the next day. The first couple of weeks were really hard. You imagine I've gone from working a job where I sit down all the time. I was obviously working from home, so I was sat down all the time, comfortable, and then I wasn't working prepared like 5 weeks, and then you go to 12-hour shifts, 4 days on, 4 days off, standing up, but not basically not allowed to sit down. Like it was a madness trying to actually, even though I was back to the gym at this point, and this is kind of towards the end of September, like the idea of actually standing up for 12 hours, like it was killing me. I had like uncomfortable footwear as well. So my feet, after that third or fourth shift, I remember being like, I'm not sure how long I can do this for. Like mate, that amount of time on your feet, like compared to like, even like in terms of football and stuff, like it's just not the same pain over that long period of time. With very little breaks, everything's kind of monitored. Like I wasn't used to that environment in it, but it was a wake up call, and it was kind of once again, it was a really humbling experience, and I'm really happy that I went through that, because I got to see people who were in these situations, and a lot of people, they were just thankful to have a job, and that kind of made me realize that the way that I was thinking, like it was like I say, obviously I was focusing kind of on me, and I was kind of so used to kind of these other kind of jobs I had. Maybe you could say that I kind of privileged to even be in those situations. Obviously, like I had the qualifications, but like other people are just appreciative for any job, and I have nothing but respect for those people that are kind of in those jobs. Those jobs that kind of are backbone of Britain, like obviously at warehousing. So it's kind of like you lot that are kind of buying stuff off the internet, all day, like kind of Amazon or all these kind of delivery companies, like there's people in these warehouses working these 12-hour shifts so you get your stuff like next day. Like it's mad, and that work is not easy. Like any part of that work, trust me, I've been there now, it is not easy to do. So fair play to all those people. But yeah, I was doing that, and obviously I wanted to get out, so I started looking for the next role, and luckily I got one job interview. I got a phone interview, and I was like, usually I go off kind of like my experience and my qualifications to kind of get a job, but I decided that, nah, scrap that. I'm doing the work. I'm putting in the work. Obviously, I've read kind of Can't Hurt Me, and I'm into these kind of business books, and I know it's all about hard work, showing intent, showing consistency. So I was like, I'm not giving them any sort of chance to say no. So I did my notes for the phone interview, passed that. They were really happy with me. I had like a selling scenario, past that. Went through the face-to-face interview, did more prep about the company, and man smashed that again. Manager was really happy with me, and I got the job. And now I do a job where I work locally in Burton and do sales, and I'm really happy with it. And to be fair, the job couldn't be more perfect for me, because I get to kind of use like kind of persuasion techniques, kind of stuff that I learned in business, and obviously it's still kind of customer focused. I still kind of use my customer service. Like I really like the role because it does actually suit me, and in terms of mentality, rather than actually having to deal with people's problems all day, like it is more like me actually trying to sell them and trying to be kind of inspiring and actually knowing my knowledge. Like, so in terms of me, it's engaging, it's kind of a small team, it's really set up for me to do kind of well. And like I say, in terms of the shifts as well, like doing the shifts, like compared to where I was before, where like my job used to live like rent free in my head, like bad customers, like I'd finish work or I'd speak to like my other colleagues and we'd go on about them for hours after work. Like we just get pissed off all the time. Like whereas now, like I leave and I'm just like, I feel like I have like an angel halo over my head. Like it feels so clear. Like you can spend just like time just like laughing and getting along, and people tell nice stories, and it just feels so much better. And I know a lot of people, when you have kind of bad job, you don't see a way out. But that's one thing. If from me telling my story, I want to at least get across. Is if you are in a bad situation, you can change it. You get the power to change it, and you can kind of grab things by the scruff of the neck and make it change. Don't kind of accept. Yes, things will be difficult. Yes, you'll have dark times. Like I say, for me, I think I wouldn't not do this again. Like, for me, the reward has been worth it, and kind of the lessons I've learned, and I've lost weight, and I'm enjoying football again. And like, for me, this has all been worth it. Like, I wouldn't. There's not really much more I would do differently. And like I say, I think kind of the main reward from this now is that like. I said kind of start of this lockdown because obviously I worked from March through to July working from home, and I didn't particularly like it. But I said if the country ever went to lockdown again, I wouldn't want to work it. I want to be doing something different. And after a month, fortunately, after a week, sorry, after I got this new job, this kind of the end of October, obviously to now, like unfortunately, obviously I'm not able to work because country's come back into lockdown. But now I've got 4 weeks where it's, yes, now you've sorted out kind of what you're going to do career-wise, at least for now. Now you've got kind of 30 days to focus on YouTube. So in that is a massive blessing, because now I'm in a position where, like, now, unfortunately, I'm put on furlough, but, like, I'm going to be having income now for the next 30 days whilst I'm currently working on my YouTube. So technically I'm a paid YouTuber. Like, that's mad. Like, but obviously not really, but, like... It's kind of making the best of a bad situation. Now I have time where I can solely focus on YouTube and Twitch, and I'm going to make the most of it. And yeah, that really is the transition. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I did make some notes. Like I said, really hard times. Went down to pennies. Like I say, it's one thing, the reason I want to get the video kind of out there is because, like, obviously, like, close family members knew, and like a couple of people knew, but I really kept this quiet from most people. Some friends I've had for kind of 10 years now didn't know this story, and because I didn't want to tell anyone, like you know when they say like men just want to go through stuff on their own, like I am very much like that, like, and I think kind of the way the internet is right now, sometimes it is kind of best to keep things away from people when people do talk. But now I'm on the other side of it, I'm kind of glad that I can tell my story, and I've been through it. I've been through the worst of it. Started out in a bad place, and I feel like I'm in a better place now, and it's been a good experience, and I've got kind of ideas on where I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to make another video about that, kind of where I see the next 1 to 2 years for myself, and how I really grow myself to be in a position where my goal, which kind of seems far away now, of being in kind of millionaire at 25, I've still got my eyes on that. And it's maybe less about being a millionaire and having a millionaire, but it's making a sustainable amount of money from doing something that I love. That really is the goal for me. Whatever, because I think now, like especially over that lockdown period, is I reduced my outgoings a lot. So around June, I sold my car, like, because I didn't want my car. So that kind of helped me get through the month as well. I'd have to admit that. So I sold my car, my mobile phone contract went down, other bills went down, and I just never brought them back up again. And it has really helped because I can live on a lot less now. I can basically live part-time. Like, I can count on one hand the amount of times I went out during COVID. Barring maybe going to the pub after football for like a pint. Like, in terms of actually going out drinking, I can literally count on one hand since March the amount of times I've been out. And that's not something that I don't mind that, in it, because in the day, like, it's enjoyed me. I've got into gym more, and I've just kind of grinding that out. And yeah, man, it's been a whole transition. And I think, although some people call me mad for leaving a position with like kind of comfort and good benefits for kind of doing this harder route and having those hard days, I think it really has grown me as a person. Also, I really, like, when I did join this new job, I was kind of a bit sad because, like, although the warehouse hours weren't great, like, I met a great group of people, and I really started liking it. It came like a good laugh. There was a good group of lads there, who I really got on with. We had similar kind of goals and interests, and like, it would have been good to see how that kind of dynamic would have carried on if I'd stayed there. But this new job came along, and it was perfect for me, and I was like, right money, permanent job, couldn't turn it down. So yeah, that's what I did. But mate, it's wild how, like, I feel like it's as bad as it is because the lockdown's not for a good reason. Obviously, people are still suffering, with this virus, but the fact that it's given me now a month to kind of sort myself out, kind of in terms of actually doing something that like I actually love doing, like which being in front of you guys and being on Twitch, and I want to make the kind of I'm like a live stream show on YouTube, and I've got so many ideas, and like I say, cracking on, hopefully doing some more running, football when it's back on, drinking my Power Labs. You know what, like it's been sick, and I've got so many ideas, so much content. I've already got a couple of videos that are gonna go up kind of soon after this one, but you know what, I'm just glad to be back, and that's one thing as well, like some days, like it was just I couldn't face being in front of the camera, couldn't face giving my opinion, and I've literally had to work on myself, so I feel better and I feel more confident just saying what I want to say, and that's something I think I've kind of took over that period of being off as well. So, for me, like once you've been to the bottom, once you feel like you're going to the bottom, like you could only ever go up, and don't be scared to say that I want better for myself, I want to improve, because I feel like I've definitely improved through this experience that I've had, and in the most challenging year of all years, like not being able to go out, not really, I couldn't escape myself. Like as been going through this stuff, being in the position where I didn't want to be in the job anymore, like I had to accept that my life is what it is, and only I can change it, and I think I have. So that's about it, and hopefully, yeah, we're gonna have a bit more kind of less serious conversations. Maybe man will still like dance or sing or whatever, rap, we'll have some fun times, we'll game, we'll rage. Hopefully we're back out pubbing, and like life will be kind of better. But you know what, I can't hate on this. Like this is the game, and like I'm here to play the game, and I'm here to play the game of life, and I'm here to play it well. So I'm here basically, and yeah, I just want to show kind of other people that this shit isn't impossible. Like if you want to make a change, you will make it. And as hard as times, people have become successful entrepreneurs during this time. Like businesses have took off and done well. Like it's not impossible to change. But yeah, I don't want to rant on any kind of longer. I think I've kind of covered everything that I wanted to cover. Like I say, I'm back. Hopefully we'll see there's been a bit of editing during this video. New intro as well, which I do love. Like I love just the fact it's mine in it. Like I love the fact that this channel's mine. Like the Twitch is mine. Like it's my platform, and I can say whatever I want because it's my platform. Like it means the world to me. It honestly does. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. Hopefully, I want to know kind of you guys think about kind of my story. I can see why you can pick holes in it. You definitely can. Like, don't get me wrong, I've not done everything perfect, but I'm happy with kind of the way things have gone. And hopefully I'll see you guys on kind of Twitch or YouTube. And I'm just going to keep providing the content. Now I've got kind of 30 days. I'm going to try and load kind of 3-4 times a week at least. And we'll have a good time of it. But yeah, cheers for sticking by. I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay blessed, stay hydrated, do your thing, and see ya.